Hello, hello, Otafest listeners. It is time for another episode of the Otafest podcast. With me today are Nancy and Jay, and oh my god, we've got words to speak into microphones.
Let us soothe your earballs.
Wait, you guys have microphones?
We've got earballs.
Didn't you get one?
No, I've just been yelling really loud this whole time.
Oh, that's why it's so loud over here.
That explains the audio quality. It sounded like Caramel Dancing, but from another room, you know?
If I sound like Caramel Dancing, there is something severely wrong.
Or severely
or
right.
I definitely lend more into the severely right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And other things that are right with the world, Otafest's manga library is looking to expand its collection, and we'd love your help. If you have manga collecting dust on your shelf, or if you need to free up room in your collection, consider donating to Otafest's manga library. Head to otafest.com/manga for more details.
And if you're ready to transform cluttered space into a clean and organized oasis, the Otafest charity auction is here to help. Not only will you declutter your home, but you will be giving back to a great cause. By signing up, dropping off your items, and letting us handle the rest, you will be making a positive impact on the community. All proceeds go towards supporting this year's charity, the Meow Foundation. Make a difference and clean out your space at the same time. Submit your items now at otafest.com/auction.
And to mitigate the crowding and queuing issues from last year, we've made a few changes, including extending exhibitor hall hours, adding ticket caps, and no in-person sales on Otafest Saturday, and other measures. Please read the entire update at otafest.com/ticket-update.
Wonderful.
Yay.
Wonderful.
Wonderful indeed.
Lots of stuff going on.
So
The
much stuff
wheels
going
are spinning and rolling along, and Otafest is mere a couple months away.
I
believe it.
am. It feels like just yesterday that I was arriving to last year's Otafest. I don't know. Sometimes it goes that fast.
It does. It's a blink and it's back, and we'll be celebrating all together again, and it'll be fantastic. There's so much to do. So much to do. But it'll be
I'm
okay.
so
It's for
glad
the
I
people.
have neither organizational tasks nor day of tasks. Everybody else can stress about it.
You do.
I have day of tasks.
You definitely have
I don't have organizational
tasks.
tasks exactly.
You
Nani?
both are on the same team.
That team.
I don't know
For
what you're
one of
talking
our
about.
I forgot about that.
Yes,
That's absolutely organizational. Jesus.
All right, I'm not stressing about it anyway. I'm still not stressing.
Nope.
No stress.
Don't know what you're talking
Only
about.
good vibes.
Silly. Y'all silly.
I can't say I'm stressed about that anyway, but I'm looking forward to it. I think some of it will be a lot of fun.
Yes, absolutely. But other things that are fun. I have a question for both of you.
Okay.
Is there a game franchise or specific games in your lives that they just sink their claws deep inside of you and they never let you get away?
It's another nostalgia episode. I'm sorry, I did this.
I love nostalgia episodes.
Don't we all?
I feel like it was just yesterday that I was playing Skyrim for the first time.
Wow, that brings back a very core memory of just getting into PC gaming.
I'm not
for
even
me.
joking. Skyrim still seems like a new game to me. When I think of
Oh my
Skyrim, I
gosh.
think, yeah, that's not that old. I mean,
It's 12 years old.
stop it. It doesn't help that it keeps getting re-released for every single console.
Everything. Yeah.
Initial release date, November 11th
2009?
of 2011.
Oh,
So it's-
2011.
Wasn't there a
Yes.
joke about releasing Skyrim for like Alexa devices?
No, that actually happened.
there is.
Wait,
That's real.
Wait, I thought that was a joke.
That's real.
It plays sort of like those. Do you know what an MUD
MUD.
is?
Multi-user
Like game-wise?
Yeah, I
dungeon.
Yeah, like those old text games.
Like Zork.
Exactly.
I know.
Yeah, you enter the dungeon. There is a door to the left. To the right, the sound of wolves howling. Which direction do you go?
Oh
That's
my God.
that's how that game plays out, apparently. I've heard it. I've never really, there's no playthroughs that I've noticed, but I know of it.
It wasn't a joke. Everyone
No.
thought
it's
it was.
It's this generation's. No, it's this generation's version of Doom.
Or a pick your own
Wow.
adventure book, like, if you
Ooh, I love
fight the
those.
dragon, turn to page 63. If you wish to flee from the dragon, turn to page 39.
You trip on a rock and you're devoured by the dragon. Try again.
Exactly. The reason why I put in this topic here because I recently just did a wide reinstallation of old
nice.
games that franchises really that have like I said, they've sunk their hooks into me, and every time there's announcements for new iterations or trailers or anything, I immediately start thinking about like the good old days. And it kind of goes back to the first one is probably Diablo 2.
All right.
Diablo 2 has its hooks into me since I was in like grade 6. And it was my first real, like I had played things like Counter-Strike and other stuff like that, but Counter-Strike does not have the same hook in me as Diablo as a franchise
That's
does.
fair.
Something about the world, the characters, the storytelling, the playthrough, or the play style, everything like that, deeply is ingrained in me. And like, other than the countless hours I've already spent on it, like Diablo 4 is coming out, I think, this year.
Oh my God.
There's like an open beta coming out, and I'm like, maybe. Like I haven't. The weird thing is, I'm not always committed to buying these games or investing my time immediately anymore into these franchises because as an adult, I just don't have that much time to spare. So I don't think about necessarily doing that anymore. But like, I reinstalled Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. I reinstalled Diablo 3 recently. I have thought about getting back into some of the old Pokemon games because these are all things that like are deeply rooted into my nerdiness, and I can never truly escape, even though I tell myself, "Oh, I'm probably too old for Pokemon."
You're never too old for
Or-
Pokemon, though. That's the thing.
You know?
Like I might be too uninvested to buy myself a Switch, to buy the new Pokemon, but I'm not too old for Pokemon. I recently started playing a ROM hack of Heart Gold, and it's fantastic.
Ooh.
There you go. And I know that when I'm going to Japan, I'm going to a Pokemon
absolutely.
center. Even though I've already visited, I think there's 6 Pokemon centers in Japan, and last time I already went to 4 of
Gotta
them.
get the other 2.
I'm probably gonna go find
Yeah,
the other
get the
2.
obviously.
Why? Why am I doing this? It's like, oh, because I am. Doesn't matter. So
I can't relate
the
exactly
rabbit hole
to
is
that.
deep.
I can't
Yeah.
relate exactly to Pokemon. I know that every time a Final Fantasy is announced, I always give it a shot.
Yeah.
And I have mixed feelings about the entire franchise because there are ones that really shine like gems, and then there are ones that really didn't do well in my eyes. Like, had a lot of potential, but kind of just flopped all over the place.
Oh no, that's unfortunate.
Please see our other episodes about rants I've had about Final Fantasy. But there's no denying that anytime a Final Fantasy is announced, I almost always pay it some attention. I will probably give it a shot. You know, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Did I think 7 needed a remake? Not really. Is the remake going to be a good game or series of games? Possibly. It sparks the optimism in me.
What bothers me about Final Fantasy VII Remake is that they didn't plan it all for the exact same console generation. Like, the fact that Final Fantasy VII Remake, the first one came out on PS4, and then about 2 years later you got it on the PC, fair enough. By that time, PS5 was out. You couldn't get PS5 for like the first 2 years of its existence. I've only ever seen one in the wild. The second game of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and we expect there's going to be 3, right? I think.
You
There could be
expect.
more.
There could
Are
be
you
more.
going to have to get the PS6 and PS7 for those ones?
Depends on how long the lifespan of
Exactly.
the PS5 is, I guess. But now that you've said that, I don't think I've ever actually been in the same room as a PS5.
I know exactly one person who owns one, and it is Alfred. Longtime listeners of the podcast will remember Alfred. Alfred has a PS5.
Alfred. I remember Alfred.
I have still not been in the same room as a PS5. Wow.
I went to his house.
I thought you were gonna say I haven't been in the same room as Alfred.
I haven't been in the same room as Alfred since January.
I went to his house, and we didn't play the PS5.
Yeah.
We played his arcade emulator on a Raspberry Pi.
Wow.
Of course you did.
That's the worst part about almost like being a gamer or almost being a media enjoyer in general. It's like you have all these new things that are great, like dozens of new shows. You're like, oh, I wish they get like their new seasons. But then when you're like really bored, you're like, boy, I'm gonna pop on The Office or whatever old like series that you love, and you're just like, I'm gonna watch through the 80 hours of that instead of the 1 hour of the new content that just came out.
Yo, I made an IT crowd reference today to a bunch of youngins, and I needed to post the clip that made the reference so that I made sense to them.
Did you tell them to turn off and on the internet?
No, I made the Aunt Irma joke today.
Aunt Irma.
Oh, she's in town.
She was in town for our database today. Our database had a bout of PMS.
Oh.
Wow.
Did you
Hormonal distress.
Did you dial the new emergency number? The 0118999 98811 9119 7253. I think I got that wrong, actually.
I can't believe you remembered how that jingle went.
Probably knew. You
I remember the
probably got it
jingle
better than I did.
I'm close
I
on
do
that
not
number, but I
remember the
think I got it
digits.
wrong.
I'll give you an A+ just for the effort.
Yeah. A+, excellent effort.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
What other franchises are stuck in my brain forever? Not just video game franchises, right?
Anything.
No. Just any franchise that's a sort of, maybe you grew up with them, maybe you like it just intrigues you deeply, even though it's a newer thing, but like you just go back to, right?
Studio Ghibli, does that count as a franchise?
I would argue it. Ghibli films.
I think it's
Ghibli films
close.
have their own unique
Close.
feel.
yeah. Yes, it has a whole aesthetic. It has their own art style and design. The music is distinctly theirs. I would say that even though there's not really, there's no My Neighbor Totoro 2 and 3, it doesn't matter. When you sort of hear something, you know it's Ghibli. When you see something,
if-
you know it's Ghibli.
What
I
if
think that's good
in
enough.
70 or 100 years, My Neighbor Totoro gets the same treatment as the new Winnie the Pooh movie?
I'm okay with that. I love creepypastas.
Why would you
you know-
say that?
I like creepypastas.
I
Also,
know listeners can't see me, but I think I spent a solid 10 seconds just blinking incomprehensibly.
nah.
Could
Could you
Angelo.
imagine
That.
Totoro?
When that little child is bouncing on his belly and he does the big yawn, it just sucks her in. And he devours
Could you
her
imagine
instead.
Totoro being like crawling, slowly lumbering through the forest, worms coming out of his face like that boar in Princess Mononoke? He would be absolutely terrified.
Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Yeah, there's
Yes.
already creepypastas.
There are.
There's honestly, like the cat bus would be quite terrifying in a
Oh, yes.
reimagining.
True. V true.
Right.
Imagine
Be
if
true.
instead of getting in on
Very,
the
like-
side, you got in through this mouth, but it depended on whether the cat bus was hungry or not, whether you got to ride the cat bus or just got eaten.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the people are the fuel, as well as the customer base. Speaking of which, so Mickey Mouse is supposed to be coming up for copyright expiration next year. Now, to be clear, it's the similar boat as Winnie the Pooh, where it's not yellow Winnie the Pooh with the red shirt. It's not Mickey Mouse with the white gloves and the red pants.
Well-
it's
No?
Steamboat Willie.
He did
pretty
have
much
white
naked
gloves.
Mickey Mouse.
He just also had white pants. Because it was black and white.
No, it's a very yes. No, he doesn't actually. I don't think
Doesn't
he has
he?
gloves.
Doesn't
in
he?
Steamboat Willie? No. But the point is that like
Oh, you're right.
the
he doesn't.
beginning of these copyright expirations are coming. There's been some pretty cursed commentary on the Bird website about what creators could start doing with even Steamboat, just simple old Steamboat Willie version
I
of
can't
Mickey.
wait.
Wow.
I want to see the mouse take an L.
I am intrigued to see what will happen because they've had such a monopoly on these properties of theirs for so long.
If there's any franchise that has its hooks for me, it's Disney, but for the wrong reasons. I just want to see them fail.
Do you want to see all of Disney fail, or do you just want to see its IPs be twisted? I'd be okay with just the latter. I don't really care about the Disney as a whole.
What would happen to like franchises like Kingdom Hearts then, where it's this kind of weird mishmash of Disney and Square Enix?
Copyright hell.
Ooh.
So, honestly, my only thing against Disney, I love Disney movies. They're fantastic. I hate the new live action or 3D CG ones, but
I know.
overall,
They're not the same.
they're exceptionally good. The only thing that I have against Disney is Disney is literally the reason why copyright laws are as bad as they are today.
Yeah, they're
Copyright
anti-competition.
laws used to be very generous to both the person holding the copyright, but also the general public at large.
It's true. All the DMCA stuff that we face today,
Blame Disney.
like you can really start by blaming Disney. There's a lot to do with, for example, like music rights. I remember growing up where music was ubiquitous in a lot of media that didn't necessarily have to be original music. It was music that was accessible to all sorts of creators and all sorts of media. And now, you know, you play anything more than like, what is it, like 5 or 6 seconds on a YouTube show and you're going to lose your monetization.
It doesn't even have to be that. You can just
whatever it may
hum.
be.
You can hum the melody. There are certain songs where if we simply did the into the microphone, it could get the entire track, the entire item blacklisted from certain websites.
Mm-hmm.
But
Blows my mind.
that is really the only thing I have against Disney. So if they did if they did have any issues, I would hope that they would just not be able to afford their lawyers anymore. That's it. No lawyers, Disney.
No lawyers.
No
Disney.
lawyers, Disney.
Yeah, but I think it'll be something interesting, especially I think as someone who is creator sided, I would like to think that there's going to be a lot of great, interesting new content, such as Winnie the Pooh's new movie.
I heard it's awful, but in the best ways.
I'm okay with that. I've watched so many awful things.
Awful, but in the best ways, which
Yes.
directly translates to very memeable.
Exactly. Like I've heard that
I see.
it's bad in the good way.
Mhm.
It's not Morbius where it's so bad that it's boring. I've heard that it's just bad in laughable ways. And I can get behind that.
Interesting.
Yes.
Something that is good in a good way. I recently got into a new show on the Netflix.
Ah, that thing
some
I
people
just
might have heard of it.
canceled.
Oh, yeah, me too. I'm also thinking of canceling it.
Ah, well,
But,
yes.
you know, we'll see how that goes. I just want to get this this show into it, which is called Physical 100.
Mm-hmm.
It's this
Oh.
Korean show. It is not
Oh.
a K-drama,
Oh,
but it is drama. It's basically Korea has recruited a large selection, to be specific, 100 of their best physical examples of humanity. We're talking from all sorts of walks of life. We're talking strong men. We're talking bodybuilders. We're talking MMA fighters, like athletes, military people. And what they do is essentially, it's like Squid Game, except it's not.
Okay.
Nobody dies. But they put them through their paces to see who comes out on top. There's like one-on-one challenges. There's team challenges. There's 2v2s. There's all sorts of endurance and strength and speed and agility. And they drop, I don't want not necessarily one by one. They drop depending on the challenges to see who comes out on top. What's really cool is because they're we have Olympians, we have again just people with all sorts of physical athletic backgrounds, and they have a lot of respect for each other, even though in the show they'll be like, well, I thought that was sort of disrespectful, or I thought that this is I don't really think they're that strong or whatever. But you can tell that there's actually a lot of respect between each other because they all know the sort of sacrifices that you sort of have to make to maintain that lifestyle, to maintain that athletic ability.
Mm-hmm.
And they just go through all these cool interesting challenges. There's things like hold on to a medicine ball for as long as you can while fighting off the other person. Or
oh my God.
It's something as simple as hanging from the structure above a pool, last person to drop wins, and they literally have to just hang on as long as they can. They can't shift. They can only use their upper body, torso, and arms. No, you can't hang off using your legs. And literally, that sounds like it's bad, but that's the first episode where literally 100 of them are just hanging off of this crane mounted structure, and they just have to wait it out. And and then it literally goes until the last person drops, which is I think 80, or not 80 minutes. What am I saying? 18 to 20 minutes, which is a long time.
It would feel like eternity doing that. Yeah.
I think I could do that for maybe 45 seconds.
Yeah, maybe 40, 30 seconds maybe for me. I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's a really, really fun show in that it's fairly, I think it's fairly drama free. I think there's a lot of interesting storylines where there's people, again, from the different backgrounds. Some people are, if you're familiar with Korean culture, you know that age, seniority is a big thing. So there's people who are ranging from 19 years old and they run a YouTube sort of fitness channel versus a 45-year-old MMA fighter. So there's a lot of that respect kind of thing going on. There's a lot of acknowledgement of the ability of each person, and understanding different arenas kind of play through, and how fast things dwindle down because they cut down people pretty quick. When you lose a challenge, that's pretty much it for you.
Wow.
I have to ask because I the way you've described this, I feel like it could go either way. Is this a fiction show or is this a reality TV show?
It's a reality TV show, but without all the weird scripted drama.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you started describing it, I was like, oh, this has to be a fictional show like Squid Game was, just with a different vibe.
Literal Olympians,
but then you started
literal MMA
describing
fighters,
it,
literal bodybuilders.
And I was like, this would make such a good reality TV show, though. Except everybody's being nice to each other.
It's funny to me that you put the wholesomeness in first, because that was the first thing you talked about. You're there's so much respect going on between all these athletes and people of these different bodily skills. And Angelo immediately goes through, oh yeah, this has got to be fictional.
kind of sad, kind of true.
It's a little funny to me, that's all.
I won't say that there's absolutely no no disrespect, no drama between certain people, but generally speaking, because they are looking to win. Right, there's a prize pool, so on and so
it's still a competition.
There's those expectations, and when you have these kind of people, The truth is, you don't get super athletic and you don't get super buff and you don't get super good at what you do without being competitive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right?
There's a
So
competitive nature to that.
And without really
Exactly.
like dedicating your time, effort,
Exactly.
research, like there's so
That
much that goes
focus,
into
right?
it. Yeah.
But so they all understand that they have each put in that work, but they all have that competitive drive, and it's cool because like there's no holds barred. There's no like there's men and women. It's not just women versus women. It's not weight classes of like 160 pounds versus 160 pounds.
Yeah.
Like there are episodes where it's literally the power weightlifter who has competed in for example, World Strongest Man competitions versus the smaller petite lady who is like from the military. So but she has military training, right? And a military physique and stuff like that,
Right.
versus like some
Hold
big
on.
like lumbering
Doesn't
dude.
just about every person in Korea have military training?
I don't
like the
think
vast
a lot of
majority?
women. A lot of women don't. I believe. I think it's still mostly men
Men,
that are part of that
mostly.
program.
All right, that's fair.
Women can enter, but I think it's more by choice than by requirement. I could be,
All right, that makes sense.
I could be absolutely wrong, but I'm fairly certain that men are the first requirement. Like being male is the first requirement.
Yeah. I think it's a mandatory draft, right?
Mandatory.
Yes.
What the hell? Why am I laughing at this? I hate it.
You're welcome.
No.
But yeah, I recommend it just because even if you don't think you're into sports, for example, there's something really both like wholesome and interesting about seeing. It's like if the Olympics just stripped everyone of their disciplines, but still acknowledged that they are all athletes on their own and just watching. The other cool thing is there's two things I really like. One of them is like there's a rest area that like a lounge area, but the lounge area not only has like, you know, workout equipment and couches and like all sorts of things, but they just have a wall of protein jars.
Oh my god.
Oh, yeah.
And there's like guys are just like, where's the chicken breast at? I need the chicken breast now. They're just into the like the lean, you know, protein, and I'm just like, okay, cool.
Okay.
And then the second thing I really like is that prior to the entire series, like during the setup of the series, they all got these life-size plaster casts made of their physiques.
What?
So like a bust. Like you don't see it's from the neck down to the waist or so, but you can see a lot of them like you know they'll have like the super six pack or like you know the well developed muscles. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. Anyway, but they have these plaster casts, and when an athlete loses their competition and is out of the show, they have to shatter their own cast.
Oh, that's
So you have like this kind of like, you know, Adonis like, you know, a statuette of themselves. That's
Are
again
they
life
posing?
sized.
Tell me they're posing in something
You
dramatic.
can tell there's a bit of a pose. I think there's a bit of like again, you can't see anything from the like it's just from the neck to about the waist or hips or so.
Yeah.
But like you can tell that there's a bit of a pose to like, you know, get that bodily muscular definition.
Okay, so
in
are we
there.
talking
and then
like
they have to smash their own thing when
Are
they
you talking
lose.
like bodybuilding poses, like the ones that make your muscles all pop in a very specific way? Or like, are we talking dramatic poses, like a JoJo's pose, or like an Adonis
No, not
pose?
JoJo
or...
posing. Not JoJo
I
posing.
feel like
it's more
just because the nature of plaster casting, it has to be like a simple pose that you can hold
For
for
a long time, because you have to be able to actually like
Yeah.
let the cast dry a little bit so they can crack it
But
off you.
That's so interesting, and it's almost like cheeky.
It is very
in a way.
cheeky.
It's like your
It is.
body was not good enough for this competition.
yes.
It must be smashed.
It's absolutely that. I highly
That's
recommend
so
watching this
funny.
show.
We should watch a couple of episodes the next time we do like an anime season
Yeah, can we watch an
Review?
episode of this for like
Yeah.
an anime review
Yeah.
episode?
Sure.
that.
So I just threw into the Discord really quickly, just like one screenshot I could find about like the cast.
Oh, I see.
Wow.
Oh, these are intense.
Right?
Holy moly.
Like look at that lady.
Wow.
Full of them.
Well, yeah, there's 100 of
Yeah.
them.
But look at
Yeah,
that,
makes
like,
sense.
and just look at the lady who's in the first shot. Like, look at her musculature. It's
Oh
like,
my gosh.
dang,
Yes.
that is.
Oh my gosh.
I think she's a wrestler. I believe she's one of the wrestlers. I don't remember if she's been eliminated yet because I'm not caught up. But
Well, no
super
spoilers.
cool
Come
show.
on.
Super fun.
Yeah, no spoilers.
no
but
spoilers.
that said, this is a really nice change from the usual like variety shows that I usually see on like Asian television, like the ones where it's like a Hong Kong show or a Japanese show or even a Korean show where they like bring a bunch of celebrities and they have to play all sorts of really silly games with each other.
Yeah, they're just doing like simple things, easy things.
Like the seaweed passing game or the whatever. But like this is
intense.
truly a test of your passion and like how far it's taken you.
And it's really cool because sometimes they'll have, for example, those one-on-one type challenges where there's no weight class involved, right? They just kind of freely challenge each other in a sense. They're able to challenge whoever they want to challenge based on like a hierarchy system from maybe a previous win in the game, for example.
Interesting.
And again, there's, they some of them are like, I want to challenge this person because they're my senior in this discipline. Some other ones are like, I chose them because I think I can win against them. And when it's that latter definition, sometimes there are big dudes that pick on like a smaller woman, and sometimes the lady wins.
Yeah.
I love
And you're
it.
like,
I love to see
yeah,
it.
you get out of here with that crap. We don't need to see that. Like, I don't. I personally think it's great when it's a guy versus a girl, just because, like, it just proves that there's a lot more to do with it than how much testosterone you have in your body,
Absolutely.
right?
So cool.
Anyway, super recommend.
So
That's a
cool.
franchise that's hooked into me right now.
Okay. That's a good one. I like recommendations from both of you because you usually have very good reasons for recommending them.
I think we also have a huge amount of variety. We
do.
watch different things.
That's fair. Like, I think we all kind of get into our own little niches, and when we find a gem, we kind of polish it off and we go, hey guys, you should check this out.
Behold, an odd taxi.
Oh my gosh, Odd Taxi was such a
Witness
gem.
this bochi. It is cute.
Witness! Oh, I still need to watch Bochi. Thank you for reminding me.
Witness the bochi.
I must.
I think we've got to do the spring season
You do.
anime
do.
preview in a little bit here. Not probably next. Well, it's this episode will already be releasing for next month.
Oh,
My
yeah.
God! So probably sometime in the coming month.
Oh, yeah.
Sometime in the
For,
coming March.
Yes,
Indeed.
exactly. Lots of stuff going on.
You know what else is going on, though? I'm going through a phase. So, longtime listeners will remember that Jay and I have discussed having LASIK eye surgery done.
We both have
Yeah.
laser eyes.
We
Pew
both
pew.
have laser eyes. Jay, I don't exactly remember if you had a severe prescription before, but I had really bad astigmatism. And astigmatism is when the lens of your eye is shaped like a football, and so it focuses
Yeah,
things
there's
not
pressure.
only blurrily, it also focuses it poorly in specific directions.
Wrong. Yeah, basically the best way to describe it is if you look at a light source, for example, a street light at night, instead of it appearing it as like a nice
Pinpoint.
glow or like pinpoint, there are incorrect pinpoints essentially. Like it doesn't, it could, if it's really bad, it could look sort of fractured or
Globulous.
yeah, like just not good. I had some astigmatism. I had somewhat poor vision, like minus 4.5
Oh,
ish.
okay.
So like not great by any means. Definitely needing glasses.
Yep.
But technically speaking, if I had a day where I couldn't use my glasses, I could still make it around town. Like I'm not going to
You're
be
not
like,
gonna be
"Ah,
Mr.
my
Magoo."
glasses. Where's my glasses? I'm not going to be
Velma.
Daphne. Or Velma? Velma. My
Okay,
glasses.
so I had very, very good vision outside of the astigmatism. My nearsightedness was almost nil. It was like 0.25, maybe 0.5, depending on which eye. But the astigmatism, so Jay mentioned like in the range of 4. When you're talking about myopic, 4, it's 4 out of 20. But when you're talking about astigmatism, it's out of a scale of 4. Plus or minus 4. So, like, I'm already at, like, the 1.5, 1.75 mark, which makes it the equivalent of, like, nearly an 8 or a 9 of myopia. So, astigmatism is far more dramatic in how it affects the quality of how you perceive things. So, for the longest time growing up, I had this really awkward... I can't tell if that person blob is, like, someone I know, so I kind of just didn't really acknowledge a whole lot of people.
Aloof.
But it just made you seem cool. It just made you seem aloof. You're like, wow, she doesn't acknowledge me, but I want Senpai to notice me, but she won't because in truth, she's just blind.
In truth, Nancy was actually just unable to recognize people until they got really close to her. So, apologies if I've ever offended anyone with this. But
no, you're just a cool anime trope.
I wish.
She's the cool aloof girl.
It's really funny. I went to go get LASIK eye surgery. I got all of that stuff corrected. My corneas are great now, and I can see with near 20/20 vision. Except I'm now in a phase where the internet has made it readily available for you to get cheap, non-Luxottica glasses that are really cute. And oh my god, where were these styles when I wanted to look cute as a 12-year-old, 14-year-old? Like, where are these? These really adorable cat eyes, or like these anime-inspired ones, or the classic like class monitor glasses. Like, oh my gosh, where were all these cute styles when I was a kid?
At the risk of sounding very creepy, kids nowadays have access to fashion, whereas we do not. Like, when I say how do I sound creepy? Kids when I was 12, nobody looked good. 12-year-olds look like
unless your parents
functional
were rich.
people now. They look functional people now. They don't look like they just got hand-me-downs and frizzy hair and crappy glasses that don't really suit their face and all that kind of stuff. Like, again, I know this sounds creepy, but like preteen or like younger girls, for example, some of them look like they actually know how to use makeup. You know what I mean? Like,
okay,
now
I am going to explain why, and it's going to sound very old man yells at cloud.
Oh, good. Here we go. Old man Angelo, take the stage.
Kids these days, you see, they're on their TikToks and their Instagrammas, and they're looking at the influencers and learning what the drip do, and they want to have the good drip so they can do the riz on their classmates. So basically what I'm saying, because of social media, social media, they have a much wider availability of what would be like good taste. Whereas when we were all kids, sure, MySpace maybe might have existed. Maybe if you were terminally online, you would have gone to Vampire Freaks for all your fashion sense. But other than that, it was like teen magazines, and you had to pay money for those. Hey, no one got time for that shit.
Or you try and like speed through them at like the 7-Eleven while you're also grabbing a Slurpee or something.
What was the popular one? YM, I think? Youth magazine?
Teen magazine? Like, I don't know.
I can't remember.
I've never read one of those.
I absolutely remember that being a thing. So many of my like richer family classmates were like, oh, I brought in like my mom's magazines to share with friends. And so we'd all stand around and like read them and be like, is that fashion? Like, I don't know. That looks pretty cool. Of course, this was the time of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, so there was a lot of, like, Buffy fashion and stuff, and it was just like, oh my gosh, this is so cool.
Or Rachel Hare from Friends.
Rachel Hare, yes.
Yeah. All I can tell you is that I'm okay with my past. Not that I've ever super looked good, but I will say that we all looked bad together. And that was important.
I still feel like I don't look well put together. I definitely don't try to like matchy things to look good in an outfit. Yeah. Anyway, that said, I wish I had had these glasses available to me when I was 12 or 14 and trying to actually really embrace that anime weeby side of myself. in a way that
still
didn't
wear-
look so out there. Like, I didn't
Yeah.
want to go and get like a pair of Pokemon glasses, for example, because they had like yellow frames and the Pokemon branding, and like I don't need to be like a really in your face weeb fan. I want to be something a little more toned down and refined. You know it if you see it,
Like,
and you know
imagine
what
if they were a
is.
nice pastel pink with a nice little flare at the corner that
I
looked
mean,
like
I
little
have
fairy
I
ears
have
or something. Secretly
Yeah.
Pokemon.
a couple years ago, for a few very good friends of mine got me a Pokemon shirt that I've worn, and it suits that sort of. We've talked about it, the low power level type, hiding your power level
Exactly.
type clothing, where you're
The
like
hidden power
it's
level.
Still like it's fun, fashionable, cute, or whatever you might want to call it, but someone has to look
Yeah,
or
they
be
have
a
to
fan
know.
of
They have to know.
be
They have to
like
know.
the shirt that I have is this like Gengar dress shirt that's patterned, and you would think that could look really gaudy, but I know it doesn't. And people notice if they're Pokemon fans, they take a quick look at the actual pattern and they're like, "Wait a minute, that's a Gengar," or there's billions of Gengars.
I think I remember that. That
Yeah,
I
I
don't
wore
think I've
that.
actually seen
a
you
good
wear
shirt.
it, but that's what I
I wore
mean.
that to
That's-
Alfred's. Remember when we went to the barbecue and we went over to Alfred and Sarah's?
Yes.
Yeah, I wore that shirt actually. That was a good shirt.
Nice.
I still have it.
Yes, I remember that now.
Yeah.
That was the River and Ribs day
River
of
and
2
Ribs.
years ago.
Anyway, my point is that I'm suddenly finding myself in a phase where it's like I never ever thought I would want to wear glasses again. But seeing them as just a cute accessory, they look so cute and I want to wear them. I can also make a case that they're super functional. These are like polarized, they change color when you're in the sun, so they tint. Like they're
See,
just so damn cute.
I'm just a shitty hipster that I still have my old glasses frames.
I have
and I
real
still-
sunglasses. I just
and I
still
have-
want them.
No, I also have real sunglasses that I just wear when it's bright out, but I also just have my old glasses frames that don't have transition, they don't do anything. They don't even have lenses because I've popped out the lenses. It's just the frame. And I like it that way, actually. I don't want the plastic in there or the glass in there because then it would fog in the winter or I have to clean it. I have to maintain it. I just want to wear them because I have worn glasses since I was in grade 3, I think. 3 or 4, probably 3, up until I was 30, 28, I don't know,
So,
something like that. I don't
The
remember
thing
anymore.
about, like, even if you just have clear lenses, they can be exceptionally functional. Exceptionally functional.
Eye protection.
Last year I broke my sunglasses, and when I was biking to work in the evening, you know those little bugs.
Oh, did you
I
get them
can't
in
know-
your eye?
Oh,
Oh yeah.
Oh, I hated
Yeah.
that
Oh,
so
yeah.
much.
And so, like, what I would do, I have these pair of blue light glasses that I wear occasionally. I would start wearing those for when I'm biking, just so the bugs wouldn't get in my eye. They weren't doing anything else for me while I was biking. Like, they were just glasses, but they kept the
you just
bugs
need to get
out
gogs,
of my
my
eyes.
dude. Straight
no,
gogs, riding gogs.
I finally replaced my sunglasses.
Nice.
I finally got
Good
some
for
new
you.
polarized lenses, and I noticed something with them that I didn't realize before. So I have a triple monitor setup. One
Oh.
is the cheapest monitor possible. It was a $100 monitor 10 or 12 years ago.
I suspect I know
Damn.
where this is going.
The other one was the cheapest 144 hertz monitor 5 years ago.
Okay.
And then my middle monitor is a nice monitor. It was a $500 monitor a year and a half ago. I put my sunglasses on to try them out. Both of my side monitors I can still see. But my middle monitor completely blacks out because of the
Yeah.
different polarization filter.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's hilarious.
That's funny.
I used to have that problem with like baby's first cell phone. Like I had my very first Sony Ericsson cell phone and I put my sunglasses on, I look at my phone, I can't see it anymore.
Yes.
And then I turn it 90 degrees
Interesting.
and I can see it again.
Oh, I didn't think of turning my head 90 degrees to see if it
Yeah.
would
Yeah,
change.
dude, that's all you have to do
It
for
totally
for
would,
the
wouldn't
gaming,
it?
for the.
So I thought where
That's
your
pretty
story was
funny.
going to go was that you had turned one of your cheaper monitors vertical, because a lot of people I know like to write code vertical screen.
I wish I could do that. Neither of my cheap monitors are so cheap they don't even have VESA mounts.
Ouch.
Yeah.
What?
I'm angry about that.
At first I was gonna tell you that as somebody who always gets matching monitors, that your story was already hurting me. But now this is more pain than I thought I couldn't even experience. I was like, almost every monitor I've had for the past 5 years, at least half a decade, has that VESA mounting capability, and you're telling me you can't even do that?
The reality is, I would only get a new monitor whenever an old monitor would break.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
That's fair.
That sounds like something I do.
And so I do not. I've wanted, if I could have just replaced all 3 of my monitors with 2 of these very nice monitors, I would have. But I could swing the $500 at the time. I could not swing the $1,000.
Fair.
That is fair.
Totally valid. But yeah, I thought you were going to say that you had one of your screens turned vertically and that's why you couldn't see that one. But no, it was your nice one in the middle. That took
And
me by
it's not a big
surprise.
issue. I don't wear my sunglasses inside. I just thought that was funny.
Yeah. I am actually super glad that newer phones these days don't have the same problem. I'm pretty sure that like I can use my phone properly with my sunglasses on. Maybe if I had it at a super weird angle,
So
then it
that's
wouldn't
actually
work.
something I was surprised about. My Pixel 4a had no problems with my sunglasses. When I had the Razer phone before, it actually would be a problem. It would have a checkerboard pattern across the screen.
Oh.
And that's another interesting thing. My car's back window and other cars' back window, if you wear polarized sunglasses, you get these weird polka dots, almost like a checker pattern across them.
Yeah,
It's
that's how
super
they
interesting.
sprayed. They sprayed like a coating on the glass.
Yes. I
And
just
you
think
can
that's
see
super
it.
interesting.
No, I love that. I love how my vision changes when I'm wearing like polarized sunglasses. I don't know. The nerd in me makes me very, very happy.
Can
when
I just
see
wear
it.
like polarized contact lenses? Does
Just
that
do
exist?
it. Just do it.
They
Yeah,
may
it's
not
gotta exist.
exist. I don't
The
know.
polarizing film is less than a millimeter. It's got to be
I don't
possible.
think you can, because contact lenses, if you don't get astigmatism ones, they spin around freely in your eye. So you're gonna get you're gonna get them at like random angles all the time.
Oh.
Transition
Yeah.
lenses.
Bet you didn't think of that.
polarized.
No, I had no idea.
No,
I'm
it doesn't
learning
exist.
so much about eyes today.
About eyes. Just because Nancy saw cute glasses and wants to wear glasses again, despite the fact that she had no need for it. No need at all.
No need at all.
Can I quickly? So we're heading quickly towards the end of the episode here. I just want to say one other thing that I'm on the board for something that I have no need for. I blame Girl DM.
Okay.
I saw this as one of her tweets.
All right.
Uh-huh.
You probably have seen it as well.
Uh-huh. Which one?
It's this cool cyberpunk.
Oh,
helmet.
those. Yes, they're wonderful. She's had a few different ones.
They look really cool.
I have no need
I
for a helmet,
have
but
them
I
on
want.
the
Oh,
docket.
you know what? No, if I get a really cool helmet, I will start riding bicycles with Sean and Angelo.
It's not that kind of. It's not a protective helmet.
I
It is a
know,
type of
but I can
helmet that
You
you
protect
would
can
like.
get them off of Amazon
Yeah,
even.
I linked
Cyberpunk
one.
masks.
I linked one off into our Discord here, and they are so cool. My use case is literally maybe the Otafest amplified concerts, and then maybe some other concerts or shows I would go to, and nothing else. Maybe Halloween at the best. But I'm like, I really like the way they
super
look.
cool.
They're really sick.
My only concern, my heckin' concern, is that they're like 90 to 150 bucks. My head probably doesn't fit in them.
Yes.
I have a very large head.
I have a small head. I'm on the other end of that spectrum. But
Just ask.
Oh,
just
I
ask
could. I
the
could
DM
just
for
try it
hers.
on at her
if I
house.
can find one,
For the test fit.
if I can find
Yeah.
one that is actually protective, I would go bike riding, because my biggest problem with bike riding is that I can't be in sun, and riding in the summer is the only time we can
You
ride.
can actually get full
you
face
could,
helmets
yeah.
for biking.
That's
You don't usually find them in stores,
Yeah.
but you can
Yeah.
get them. The big thing would be mountain biking. a lot of mountain bike helmets have full face helmets, and some of
Yes.
them even have like a solar filter.
Really?
But I'm also assuming that Nancy doesn't want something that's
Well, that's
too
the thing.
heavy.
That's why you
as
would get like
heavy
a
as
motorcycle
full-on
helmet, because those are very
general
heavy.
riding helmet is.
Whereas a mountain biking helmet would be much
They
lighter.
are.
Yeah.
And I don't need to survive that kind of crash. Yeah.
I wouldn't advise
cosmetics.
the thing that I'm
They are
talking about
not.
because they're very cosmetic.
Oh,
Lots
yeah,
of smaller
for sure.
moving parts.
But
they're
if
not protective.
someone
they don't
out
have
there, if someone knows of bicycle helmets that also benefit from some very excellent cyberpunk styling, please let me know. I really need to get out and exercise more, and biking is the way to go, but I need a helmet that actually protects me
I
from
found
sun.
a perfect one for you, but it's actually a motorcycle helmet,
fair.
and it's $700 US.
Yikes! Ooh.
It is.
Oh,
it
for
is
the
the
low
Dura-da-da-da-da-da-da
price. Low price
Celti
with 11
Sturlson motorcycle helmet, the yellow one with the cat ears.
Oh no, you can wear the one
For
under. Do you see the one
$45?
underneath? Yeah, just wear the plush one.
Oh my god.
It looks so derpy because it's like it's clearly stuffed. It's probably technically protective,
Yeah.
which is funny
Yeah,
as well.
sure. Technically protective. Let's go with that.
It looks so derpy. I love it. All right. And on that note,
I love you too, listener, even if you are derpy.
Until next
if you get that,
time,
if you get that derpy plush helmet, you let us know.
you let us know. And then you give us a full-on review of your thoughts.
Bye.
Until next time.
Be good.